For 2 weeks in April, school children from more than 60 schools in Sangamon County brought pennies in to raise money for a very important Abraham Lincoln artifact during the Illinois Proud Penny Drive for our state's 200th birthday.
I looked under the couch. I went outside because there's money on the ground that people drop, and I saved up my money.
I just looked in like junk drawers and stuff. Like, it's really easy to find loose change.
Like
Outside.
Under the couch and in rooms.
We had a week of a penny drive, and on Mondays we did pennies. Then the other days we did dimes, nickels, quarters, and then dollars on Friday.
The goal was to raise enough money, $15,000, to purchase the Sangamon County Minute Book, which included the certification that Abraham Lincoln was a man of good moral character.
I remember people bringing pennies and dollars and everything up to the buckets and just pouring them in. And there was just lots.
Getting a certification for good moral character, doing the right thing even when no one is looking, was absolutely necessary for Lincoln to become a lawyer back in the 1800s.
But there's one other thing I needed to do. I had to have somebody sign a book at the county seat up in Springfield and vouch for me. That means to declare in front of everybody and write it down on paper that I was a person of good moral character.
In order to reach the goal, students needed to bring in 1.5 million pennies in 2 weeks.
I remember the competition, like who could get the most pennies.
Volunteers from all over the county picked up the coins and donations at all of the schools and brought them to Bank of Springfield locations. Bank of Springfield officials said it took more than 20 hours to count all of the money that was coming in.
The very last day of the campaign, we had vans pulling up with just pennies on top of pennies and suitcases, anything and everything. We had personal bankers running out and bringing the pennies in because, believe it or not, when you have that many pennies in one container, it gets pretty heavy. So we'd bring those in to the tellers and over to the coin counting machines, and really the whole last day of the campaign, and then typically on a few other days at the end of the weeks during the campaign, you could just hear the coin machines counting all the coins.
And how did the kids in Sangamon County do?
How many pennies did we get?
We got, drum roll for Sarah.
Okay, we got 1.8 million pennies and some change.
All right,
Yeah. After you guys raised all of that money to bring that important Lincoln book back to Illinois, we had to bring it up to Chicago for experts at graphic conservation to take a look at it and see what kind of work needed to be done to make sure that we have this book for your kids and grandkids to see in future generations.
Because the Sangamon County kids surpassed the goal and brought in more than $18,000, every extra penny was used toward making sure the book will be preserved for the future.
This is actually caused by bugs. Looks like a worm or something like that ate into that page there, and that's something we see quite a bit. Worms and bugs love to eat paper.
Conservators say when you have a book that is 183 years old, it's gotten a lot of wear and literal tears that have to be repaired in order for the book to survive.
So we're looking to preserve the document so that it does have additional generations of lifespan associated with it. Unfortunately, with some old papers, and you may have seen this with old newspapers in your house or magazines, they actually become brittle with time and they can crack almost like a potato chip. In some cases, that's a very bad thing to have happen to paper, and we try to reverse that process and basically to stop it and not let it get any worse.
So after weeks of work, the precious Lincoln artifact arrived back in Springfield safe and sound, and it's all thanks to the kids in Sangamon County.
Why was the book in New York?
Sure. Well, you know, a lot of Lincoln items over time, he was president a long time ago, have been scattered here and there around the country and around the world. So different collectors and different people over time bring those items in, and this one ended up in New York, and we're really happy that we were able to get it back here to the land of Lincoln in Illinois.
You'll be able to take a closer look at this important book through the end of September in the lobby of the Presidential Library. Then it will move over to a very important spot in the museum near the exhibit that includes a scene from Lincoln's days as a lawyer in Springfield. And for safekeeping, it will be stored in the vault of the library to make sure the state keeps it for generations to come.
Kids are so powerful, and when students get together and work together, they are world changers. And students all over Sangamon County donated to this project, and we're very excited because Abraham Lincoln is such an important part of our culture.
He was a very good president. I know he resided in Springfield, and he just made a lot of change, especially how he abolished slavery, and it just made a very big impact on where we are today.
Thank you to all of the kids in Sangamon County who made this a reality today. Special thanks to our partners including the Bank of Springfield, Pisa's at Bun Gourmet, Midwest Family Broadcasting, Lincoln, Springfield Pepsi Bottling Company, Gigante & Gigante, Staff Carpet, Midwest Office Supply, the Illinois Bicentennial Commission, Staub Funeral Homes, the Sangamon County Bar Association, and the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Library and Museum.